once again, warm welcome back to the DrMBalmer channel. So, yeah, I want to thank you all for watching my videos. These overclocking videos don't get as many views as some of the other, perhaps more interesting for a broader audience with a DIY or something, but unfortunately enough, I find these videos both very pleasing to do because I like overclocking, and GPU overclocking is very fun, and yeah, it's great to see some progress in the Hall of Fame, and the ultimate goal being that DrMBalmer channel name shall appear as top 1 for all the GPUs that we process, so to speak, which is a very ambitious goal, but yeah, ambition one must have, at least. So, last time I said that yeah, we should find out the maximum core overclock for Firestrike as well, as we found it for Timespy at 209 MHz on the core, and we achieved that by adding an extra orange fan, blowing air right into the GPU, making the GPU colder, and it doesn't have to run its fans during the Timespy and Firestrike tests. Now, and that seems to do two things. One thing is that with a colder temperature, there's less current leakage in the chip. So why don't we just set the fans to 100% on the GPU itself? Well, the theory is that the fans themselves, especially when you're running them fast, they're drawing some power as well, and that power, I believe that the power limit that we can set in software like Precision, power target limit of 108%, that it includes the total board power. So when we increase the clock here for core or memory, it means that there is a sort of a voltage frequency requirement table, and the chip says that, okay, if you want to have 209 clock, I want to have 1.25 volts on the core, for instance, and with higher voltage comes higher current draw, and with higher current draw and voltage, since power is voltage times current, we get a higher wattage, so to speak, higher power draw, in other words. And if we exceed our power target, then we will throttle or just crash if we can't draw as much power on the or we can't get the voltage that we need, because it will be limited by power. It says, oh no, I can't supply you that voltage, because that would mean that we exceed our power target, and then we crash. That's the theory, and it seems to be working, because before setting 209, or before adding the extra orange fan here, Timespy crashed at 195 core, and we did break some points, scores, barriers. So what did we have? We had yeah, 2425 at 207 core, which was our highest. So I believe that now that the system is freshly started, let's set 207 here and just do a run in 3D Mark Timespy, just sort of a fresh start run to see if we can beat that 2025, what was it, 2425 points, and that would mean that we will get the silver spot in the Hall of Fame for this CPU GPU configuration. And for those of you who haven't followed this series, the CPU GPU combination currently is an AMD 7850K overclocked, not to its maximum for Timespy either yet, but overclocked to about 4.5 gigahertz, I believe, 4.4, and we have a Noctua NHD15 with triple fans, and then we have the GPU, which is an MSI GTX960 gaming 2GB, and we have added some extra airflow recently when we started crashing on higher levels of the core overclock for the GPU, which helped a lot. So we went from crashing on 195 offset on the core in Timespy to crashing on 210 offset on the core on Timespy, but should ramp up the fans. But I saw some artifacting starting to happen at 209 core offset, so we're close to crashing on 209 as well. So, but anyway, let's let this run and see where we end up. At 207, fresh run, newly started system. Let's see if will we be able to beat 2,425 points or not. So, here we go. Oh no, we crashed. Let's try that again, shall we? So 207 crashed this time around. So very interesting. We had good runs last time, but now something has changed, obviously. Okay. We should note then in our sheet that we crashed on reruns. Yeah, something like this, that we did run 2 reruns on 207 core and we crashed, having some artifacts. Yeah, well, we got the best score on 207. I suppose 205 we could say is the best for 4 Timespy maybe then 24-21 currently, but we haven't touched memory yet. So but anyway, let's focus on Firestrike. So previously we crashed at a 200 core rerun on GT2, but we didn't crash on the 199. Yeah, we did on a 199 as well. But considering that Timespy worked now with 205 at least, and in the previous part it worked for 207 or something, and 209 even. Let's let's try setting 205 maybe, and running Firestrike. Oh, Yeah, like that. And just see if that works. No, it didn't. How very, very awful. So, very strange that Firestrike now behaves sort of worse than Timespy. Let's try this again. Or maybe 3 Mark needs a restart. We'll see. Alright, so this time we didn't crash, it seems, but we did have one crash. The last run. 6196 though. So, I don't remember what we had. Let's have a look. Yeah, so a good score, but it's not the highest. Our highest was 6212 at 195 core. So the GPU let us down a bit here. So 6212 had 8261, now we had 8221 on the GPU. So it crashed once, but just for the fun of it, let's just try to set. Now that we did have a good run, oh, this was 200 on the core. I shall correct that. So this wasn't 205. This was 200 once again. So 200 we got 6184. 6196, so we have improved the 200 core run, and we did crash once previously as well. Okay, so maybe we're not. Yeah, let's try 205 one more time. But it seems from what we're seeing now that 200 core is runnable, but maybe not every single time we run it. So maybe we should have that in account when we start with the memory overclocking now on the VRAM on the GPU. So it didn't crash, and I have a good feeling about this one. 6228. Now, wait a minute. What did we have previously? So, 6228. $62.12 was our highest. Yeah, this is higher. So let me. We didn't crash, and this is 205 core. It's good to know that such a run was possible when we turn our attention to VRAM. So 8291, physics 5351, yeah, that's higher, and combined score 2378, the same. So yeah, a great jump in GPU performance and physics as well, and we got 6228. So let's have a look online and see how we compare. Yeah, so I accidentally pressed run again instead of compare results online, but I thought that okay, I'll let it run, because it's valuable. Having 2 consecutive runs not crashing, for instance, is of good value when we move forward with the overclocking, for instance via the VRAM and stuff like that. So knowing that the 205 should be repeatable, it's good. And we got a lower score, 5 points lower, but GPU was lacking on a little bit, and physics as well, but higher combined by 2 points. But yeah, so let's compare online this time, hopefully, if I can press the correct buttons. So unfortunately the 6228 score did not appear in the list here. Only got the 6223 rerun score for some reason, and I couldn't find any other matching on November 21st at a higher score. So 6228 sorry, would have been placed in top 10, but now we got sort of cut off from our victory here. But not to worry, okay, we will get past that anyway. However, so 11th place, almost top 10, and previously 6212. Yeah, so we have passed one Spanish Espanol person here. So great. But okay, so if 205 worked, do we dare to try 210, which didn't work in Timespy, for instance, at least? Let's set 210, right? Just for the fun of it, and do a rerun and see if we even can get somewhere before crashing. So, hang on, we didn't crash? Let's have a look. Yeah, we didn't crash, and we actually 6236. That's a nice jump in points, and the GPU went from 8279 to 8329. That's 50 points or something, right? So yeah, and the physics score is a bit lower, but not much, and the combined is also a bit lower, but also not much, and we didn't crash. So on 210 core. So what happened in the beginning when we were crashing a lot? On 200 core, even with the extra fan here, we crashed first time. So not 100% stable, I can see that, but anyway, so now let's see if this score appears on the list of the Hall of Fame. Yes, indeed, it did. So previously we were now at 6223, now 12th, previously 11th, but now we have moved ourselves down a bit. We managed to surpass this Spanish person, and now once again we have this same Spanish person in front of us at 6245, but now we're in top 10 at 6236. So only 9 points more and we will have a shared 6th and 7th place, so there are 2 people on the same score here. Juanete, maybe, right? If the pronunciation is correct, and 3rd place is the highest score for that one, and then we have some fakey at 6340 and 6404. So we have quite a bit to go, but yeah, 8th place is not bad. But in that case, 210 worked. So I mean, if we didn't crash, I suppose we can try 215. So I have a feeling that this will crash, but it's worth giving it a try, right? Yes, and of course we crashed here. So that was expected. Oh, I keep bumping into my camera stand. So 215 is of course too much. Let's try 213. Oh yeah, was this the ultimate run or what? I don't know, but let's have a look. We didn't crash at least at 213. $61.97. That's slower, right? Yes, so 213 core worked, but I saw a little bit of flickering in the first test, and we did get quite a bit of a lower score across the board here. So I would say that 210 is probably good if we can keep 210. Yeah, so now that we have different core values, that sounds like something else. Different core offsets for Timespy and Firestrike. Let's concentrate on one of those at a time, maybe. Yeah, but should we start? I mean, 200 core. So our best on Timespy was 2478, 2483. So now, but now it crashed 2 times on 207 core. So 205 then, maybe. 2470, yeah. Maybe 205 on Timespy. And for Firestrike, let's see what we got. 210, yeah. Of course, we could lower to 205 and run Timespy and Firestrike, maybe. Both of them, but I think that let's concentrate on one of them at a time. And or I don't know. Well, let's see how it goes about. So if we go with 205, it was something that should work on both tests. And actually, on the memory then, on the VRAM, what did we do last time? We did increases by, let's see here, we ended up at 900 or 850 mem on the 950, but I don't know how this memory will perform. So yeah, I want sort of the same stepping. Maybe we can jump over some oddities like 275 if possible. So we'll go by 50 steps, and that will give us a good nice chart in the very end when we sort of conclude our achievements. So let's start by 50, because I don't know when the board power limit of 108 will be reached. So we don't want to push the clock too much either. We might start crashing. So yeah, let's increase 50 on the mem at 205. And yeah, what kind of impact will that have? Will it crash, or will we get a nice run? Let's find out. So it didn't crash for sure, but what will the score be? Let's see. $62.11. Okay, let's have a look. So yeah, it's lower than we had on 205 core, 6228 without 50 mem, but it could be run to run. GPU 8266 instead of 8291, so we had a very good run there. Physics 5330, a bit lower, and combined 2368. So yeah, we're a bit lower, but let's continue and let's see what we get in Timespy. Yeah, so let's not get too depressed immediately, and go for 100 memory offset. I believe at some point we should see an uplift, maybe. I won't show every run in there in the full lengths, but let's just get some runs done and see if we get an impact on the scores. So, the run has completed, and the 6262, what does that mean? It means we have a new best. So 6262, that's the highest we have gotten so far in Firestrike, so very nice. The GPU score 8373, which is very high. Physics 5331, which is in the same range. Combined 2382, which is also in the same range as we've had, but a little bit higher. So let's see online what this means. So it means that instead of being 8th or now 9th, we have a 6236, which was our highest. We are now at 6262, 5th place, so top 5, and that is not bad. But to reach next level, we need 6318 or 19 at least, and then it will get, yeah, a little bit harder to reach the topmost scores. So now we have almost 60 points to go until we can reach the next level. Yeah, okay, but how about we try to do the same journey on Firestrike now? So we'll start off by going to 50 and see if we see the same performance regression on 50 for Timespy. And let's see here, 205 core on Timespy, was that good? Or let's see here, maybe we can remove some of the old 950 scores. Let's do it like that for now. So 205, 2421, 207, 24, yeah, okay, 205 should be doable, and we had 2421. Yeah, let's go for Timespy at 50 offset. That is actually the same score. I think that our highest score is 1 point away from the silver 2426. second place in the Hall of Fame. Let's have a look. Yeah, 2425. We had that on 207 core previously. So 1 point away from a shared second place in Timespy. GPU 2485, which is the highest we've had since the super run for a GPU on 200 core, but with a very low CPU score. But we had a Windows update in background. CPU 2135. So yeah, we're a bit low there. So just 1 or 2 points more, and we would have celebrated somehow. But okay, let's. I mean, in Timespy the score did not regress with the increase of 50 megahertz on the VMEM like in Firestrike, but I mean, maybe it's run to run, but variance. But let's try 100 and see if there's any difference. Is this the ultimate silver run? Maybe. And there we go, my friends, viewers and subscribers alike. Yeah, 2429. Now that is an improvement for sure, and I believe we have snatched the second place in the Hall of Fame. So let's have a little look. Yes, have a look first in the notepad here. So we increased 4 points from last run. GPU 3 points and CPU 7 points. And yeah, so we're seeing at least a trend line here. We are increasing in the points as we increase the memory offset. So now for the exciting comparison online. Okay, so yes, 3 points up from MROD931, who was previously at a silver spot, but now we have it. And indeed, my friends, 1546 on GPU core clock against 1550, so that's negligible, maybe. 1803 on the GPU MEM, so we're still a lot lower than the other ones on the GPU MEM. CPU score is higher than these two. Graphics score is a bit lower, 2488, and overall 2429. So we are 3 points from a shared world record and 4 points from the world record for Timespy using the AMD A10-7850K and the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960. So let's continue on the set path here. We can continue with Timespy for now and see if we can manage to get the world record. Yeah, so great. I think we should continue So 24-29 was a great score, but I suspect there is more to be gained. Let's have a look at how we did for Timespy previously. So we can remove some old scores, so 50, 100, 150, 200, yeah. Go in steps by 50. So 150. And we'll try Timespy again. 150 and 200, and then we'll try Firestrike with the same settings. So we crashed. I suspect 205 is not stable every single time, maybe. We should... I don't think the memory is the problem, because we haven't seen any artifacting from memory. But on the other hand, increasing memory frequency maybe increases the voltage requirement, and maybe we're hitting the TDP max, but let's run this one more time. Alright, so this time we didn't crash, it seems. So maybe we have a slight instability on 205 in Timespy. And let's see what we get. 2444. Hang on a minute, wait a minute. Let me just bring my sheet up quickly. Yeah, my friends, this is a great increase. 2444. GPU over 2500 points. CPU a little lacking on the rerun here, but hang on a minute. What was the number one score on the results page, the Hall of Fame, so to speak, of 3D Mark? Let's have a look. Isn't this a new world record, maybe? I almost think it is. And oh my, have a look at this. I didn't think we would get there this fast, actually. I thought that we would have to push the VRAM quite a lot bit higher, switch to a higher overclocked BIOS profile, and do stuff like that as well. And oh, sorry, I'm a bit excited here. Yeah, not only did we beat the previous world record holder, but from May 13th, 2017, by quite a margin, 12 points. But I believe we still have some headroom left. I think, I'm not sure, but this is very promising. Yeah, so I just want to thank you everyone who have followed this series up to this point. You're all amazing, and I mean, this is to me very, very rewarding to see, and I'm happy to share this moment with all of you. I mean, this is not the world record as in the world record score of all times of 3D Mark, Timespy or Firestrike or something, but it is actually the world record currently of this CPU and GPU combination. And yeah, that's not bad. I mean, we're still on air cooling and stuff, so and a 3D Mark is at least the most de facto standard bench application for GPU overclocking that I know of. And yeah, so GPU core clock 1546, memory clock 1828. Really nice actually, and I'm very happy about this. So okay, that was the Timespy. Should we go for a Firestrike run then? Yeah, let's go for Firestrike. We don't have to change the memory frequency twice in precision. And let's see what a world record run in Timespy can do in Firestrike. Excitement. 6295. I don't remember what we have, but I believe 6295 is not bad. Maybe. Let me bring up my sheet. Yes, it is our new highest best for us in Firestrike as well. Not a world record, I think, but GPU score increased massively. Physics dropped quite a bit actually. Combined, we gained a little bit, almost 2400 on combined. GPU score is closing in on 8500. 6295. So let's look online. Yep, we didn't displace any other benchmarker on the list from last time, but we have really closed in on the 4th place. And could we make it to top 3 in this part of our overclocking series? Let's aim for that. So let's stay on Firestrike and try a run at 200 mem offset. See if that works. And 205 core still. Can we break the 6300 overall points barrier in Firestrike? Or will we start crashing and stuff? That is the question, of course. Yeah, I have good feeling about this run. This has to be good. Oh, come on. Yes, 6311. 6311, I believe that is not enough to gain any new spot on the list, but it's still an increase, so let's do the standard procedure. In the list here we can see that 6311, yes, a good increase by 16 points. We passed the 6300 barrier. GPU is even more so, closing in on the 8500 points barrier. Physics is pretty much stable. Combined score also pretty much stable, a little higher, so all good. And yeah, let's check that list again online as well. Yes, still in 5th place here, but we are only 7 points away from 4th place. So that is good. Okay, but now while we are at 200 mem, let's run a Timespy then on 200 as well and see if that still works, or can we sort of extend our lead, and by how much? Can we set even higher of a new world record? Alright, so no crashing as far as I know, but maybe it has some little flickering or something. I don't know if I saw correctly, but we should get a score here. Our last one was 2444 maybe. Yes, my friends, a new world record. Second one today, in today's part. And yeah, so let's enter the numbers. Yeah, so we gained 7 points overall. GPU gained 10 points. We lost a little bit on the CPU side of things, but this looks promising. So we have extended our world record lead by a little bit more, which is always nice. So yeah, but before we end this part of it all, let's see if we can't run 250 in Firestrike and see if that is enough to gain at least one more position in the Firestrike Hall of Fame for this CPU-GPU combination. Hopefully this will run. I don't know if it will crash or not, but so no crashing, but I wonder if it is a higher score or not. Yes, this is 310. Okay, but let's have a look at what actually changed. So yeah, the GPU was a bit disappointing here, considering the higher score previously. Physics increased a lot, combined score increased a bit. So yeah, it feels like there is potential. Could only get a good run, but so let's try 300 in Firestrike. Before we call it the day. Oops. Bad news, it seems. Firestrike is crashing. So 300 was not a very good. I believe we're hitting a limit here, so let me just enter it. So 300 mem It was a crash. Well, that's no good. So let's try some middle step. 275. Okay, so we can't really, it seems we can't really set those memory offsets that we could on the 950. I don't know if it's the memory that's lacking now in capability, or if it's because we're hitting the absolute power target limit with both a high core and memory clock. Ooh, 6349. You know what? This is really high. This is really high. It's not the gold run, but this is high. So let's start with Notepad. Yeah, so 300 didn't work, but I didn't see any artifacting on 275 even. Not anything severe, at least. So my theory is that maybe it's the power that's limiting us. So if we decrease to 200 perhaps on the core, and then we can increase it to 300 mem instead, since Firestrike seems to like VRAM frequency. And 6349, we had a 6310 on 250, so, and 6311 on 200. GPU score 8558. That's 100 points more in one go. And physics high, but not the highest. Combined exactly the same as last time. So very good. Now let's look online. So yeah. Oh dear. Not only did we pass 1, 2, 3 people. So we advanced from previously 5th place to now 2nd place. So yeah, one of the fakey scores has been crushed. And let's have a little closer look here. 6349. We will need a couple of more good runs to reach 6404, but we have some tricks to test yet. The graphics score 8558. Physics score is exactly the same as the fakey one. Combined score 2449, we have a little bit lower. CPU clock 4471. GPU core clock 1546. Yeah, so the memory here, I don't know what it reports, but considering that others have higher mem but lower core clock, maybe we need to lower our core clock a bit for Firestrike and increase our memory clock. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and subscribers, friends of all times, we have achieved some great scores today. We have first of all, in Timespy, I mean, we broke the world record 2 times. And in Firestrike, we are in the 2nd place. So now what's left to do is to go for gold in Firestrike and as much as possible increase our lead. And in Timespy, yeah, just continue to try and push out new world records. So yeah, you won't want to miss that, I believe. And we have some tricks left to do and try, like another bias profile with higher system overclock on the CPU and system RAM, North Bridge and stuff, maybe. And we have those bias profiles ready from the GTX950 Overclocking series. If you haven't seen that one, then please have a look. It was very educational. I found out a whole lot about BSODs and stuff, and how to solve them. And of course, we also have a little bit of headroom maybe to play around with the lowering core, increasing mem, and see if that will be stable, if it's the power limit that's the issue, and what can we do about the power limit. Is there anything we can do? Yeah, so this was a great session, great part of this overclocking series. So yeah, please do join me in the next part and be on the lookout for other interesting videos appearing on the channel. So thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye bye.